David, this is Jared to my right, and to my left is Patrick. And we represent the street people of Venice that are also going to be affected by these two new ordinances that are all about criminalizing poverty in LA. We are asking the mayor to stop the wave of criminalization and start the wave of services to humanity.
And we recognize too that no matter what your station in life is, you're worthy of dignity, right? Just because you're homeless, does that mean that we as a state should treat the people who are in that condition as less than human? And we think that's very dehumanizing in a place where there's facilities for everybody, but to arbitrarily cut off those that don't have four walls to have their own facilities when facilities are available. It's not like we didn't create facilities. We're not asking Venice or the city of LA to do something more than they've already done. Even with this bulky item rule, it's not a matter of solutions for them. It's a matter of criminalizing. Because if they wanted solutions, they could look to expand storage, look to expand even housing, make it easier for people to not load the beach up with all their personal property, because that's what they're responding to.
These ordinances will not provide anybody with a home. All they'll do is they'll say to a homeless person, not only do you not get a home, but we're going to force you to carry everything you own on your back. And if you ever set it down anywhere for 24 hours, you could be arrested. It's just going to allow the city to chase homeless people from one neighborhood to another. It's going to
block to another.
It's going to waste police time. To have the police just come out and say to a homeless person, "You've been here 24 hours. Go someplace else." It's the worst anti-homeless law in the country. There's really no doubt.
It is, and it justifies the prejudice of some people who would rather criminalize poverty rather than look for solutions for it. Who would rather call the police on their neighbors who are an eyesore and just reach out a hand and give their neighbor a cup of water. The prejudice is an issue. Poor will always be with us, and we need to confront that fact. We want to find solutions for affordable housing, and the first step is to stop criminalizing a person for being poor and unhoused. But in addition to that, we have to confront the fact that there will be poor people, and let's learn to look one another in the eye and treat each other with dignity. Abraham lived in a tent. Isaac lived in a tent. Jacob even had to leave his family's tent to go up to his uncle Laban for a wife. And so homelessness is a part of the Judeo-Christian tradition, if you want to look at it that way. Israel was homeless in the wilderness for 40 years. And that young rabbi from Nazareth was homeless too. He said, "Foxes have holes, birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head." So we need to confront these contradictions in our culture. And for anyone who takes the Judeo-Christian tradition that this country was supposedly founded on seriously, then we need to confront the prejudices in our own hearts and our neighbors, and be able to look our neighbors in the eye and give them a hand up, and to stop calling the police on people being poor. If you want to help someone who's poor, invite him in for a shower. How about that? You don't like the government. There's some people out there that hate the government. They don't want socialism. They don't want a government solution. They're libertarians. Well, then why don't you reach out a hand and invite him into your house to take a shower, or at least go out and give him a cup of water, or let him charge his phone, or let him use your phone to call his child on the other side of the country, or his mother, and help him get back to where he's from.
We're asking,
let's find solutions.
We're asking people to call the mayor and then give us a call. The number is 310-845-6034, and come out and join us here in front of the mayor's house until until he pledges to veto these two ordinances. And 25% of the U.S. military budget would end all poverty in the country. There's no excuse for criminalizing the poor. It is time to recognize that there's a homeless emergency in Los Angeles, and the mayor should call on federal emergency funds, open up restrooms, showers, and storage for people's possessions. that's the alternative we're asking for, and asking people to come out. We're celebrating the birthplace of the birthday of democracy. Let's make this the birthday that we actually grow up in America and stop exploiting the world and killing people. Let's make this the birthday that we live up to the real meaning of democracy.
Amen to that.
Right.
And basically, we've been just trying to inform our friends and neighbors that are in Venice that we're looking to find solutions for the problems that we're dealing with as well, and we want to be at the table coming up with these solutions. One of the problems with this whole 5611 situation, we believe that the law was conceived, written, and agreed upon before they even took it to the legislative chambers and voted upon. So by the time they took it to a vote and we saw it pass, I think it was 12-1 with Cedillo, the only one that voted against. It's like the decision was already made. So we, the people of Venice, street love people from Venice, we feel that a lot of times when these decisions take place and they affect us, some of the negative consequences are because we weren't at the table coming up with the solutions and thinking it through together. And I know, of course, the reason is maybe perhaps because we're not invited to the table, but another reason is sometimes we don't assert our place and our right to be at the table.
Right.
We don't ask to join the conversation, and then these rules come, and when we see, hey, this is about to really make life hard for me because I'm going to have to carry my bag every day. Oh, let's go protest. It just got passed. It just got voted for 13-1. The time to protest or to stop or to keep it from happening should have been at the time it was getting drafted.
At the ad hoc committee on homelessness, but we weren't there for the drafting.
It had already been written and passed by that time.
Well, yeah, they passed it. They were rubber stamping it.
Yeah.
This is one of the things we hope to do is develop these kind of conversations among the local street kids and travelers, unhoused population. Raise the level of dialogue, raise the level of consciousness, hopefully get people away from the theft and the drugs and the insanity that people are involved in, which, by the way, is perpetrated by the local businesses as much as it is by the unhoused community, and get people politically activated. Let's figure out how can we build our lives, how can we heal our land.
All over America, all over the world, Los Angeles is the homeless capital. For a long past time, we made the capital of homeless solutions, not just for Los Angeles, but America and the world. This could be a great 4th of July to turn that around, and Mayor Garcetti could go from being the biggest homeless criminalizer in the nation by allowing this thing to pass, if he doesn't veto it, to being the biggest hero for homeless solutions.
That's right. And this is the 4th of July. We're celebrating American independence from the tyranny of the British government. Is that what it is? It's the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And another thing we often have, American tradition, is fireworks. The fireworks represent
Freedom.
instruments of war. They're the bombardments. In a sense, let's stop the war on poor people let's go to a spiritual war, a war to learn how to love our neighbors, a war to do what's right, a war of advocacy for the rights of the poor, the widow, the orphan, the alien, and the stranger. Let's war on the prejudice in our own hearts and on each other. And that is truly the holy war. So, 4th of July, let's get freedom from our prejudices, freedom from our insanity, freedom from our misconceived ideas, and then let's find freedom from the poverty too.
And freedom
from the love of money, by the way,
that we have.
which is just as much of an affliction.
Let's free ourselves this 4th of July from apathy over our democracy.
Right.
Let's celebrate it instead of watching
Now,
it
mind you,
deteriorate.
the mayor has a short window of time to do something. If on Monday, he doesn't already veto it, this might be a thing that just goes into effect.
He will become the biggest homeless criminalizer in the nation just by doing
So we have
And he's
action.
pledging not to
We have a
enforce
time
it.
frame for
That's not
action,
enough.
so to speak.
Right. A pledge to not enforce the law is not good enough. Because you know what? The mayor might not want to enforce it, but the next mayor may. Or perhaps some police officers or some particular substation of the LAPD is going to decide they want to enforce it. They get calls from the neighborhood, and the neighborhood is going to sue the city for not enforcing its own law, some NIMBY group. So it's important to actually veto the bill.
Yeah.
Come out and join us for the peaceful vigil.
4th of July,
Thank you.
in front of the mayor's house.